Good evening and welcome to our news programme. It is just gone 6 o'clock on Saturday the 16th of July. And in the news this evening, Public Health Dorset and the local NHS are urging everyone to take care during the current heatwave. Across the country, high temperatures have been forecast this weekend with a level 4 heat health alert in place for all southwest regions. Hot weather is enjoyed by many and can be a great opportunity to get outside, visit the beach or sit out late into the evening relaxing. However, there can be serious health consequences from too much exposure to heat. It is important to take extra care of yourself and to look out for others who may be vulnerable during these hot spells. Now, top tips for staying safe when the heat arrives, and of course Monday and Tuesday are looking to be the hottest days. Close curtains on rooms that face the sun to keep indoor spaces cooler, and remember it may be cooler outdoors than indoors. Drink plenty of fluids and avoid excess alcohol. Never leave anyone in a closed parked vehicle, especially infants, young children, vulnerable adults or animals. Now particularly remember your small children and animals over the next few days. If you must go outside in the heat, walk in the shade, apply sunscreen and wear a wide-brimmed hat and seek cool spaces. Avoid physical exertion during the hottest parts of the day. Make sure you take water with you if you are travelling. During warm weather, going for a swim can provide much welcome relief. If you're going into open water to cool down, take care to follow any local safety advice. And if you have concerns about your child's health, visit what0-18.nhs.uk for help and advice. Now, who is especially at risk during these hot sessions? Well, anyone can be affected by prolonged spells of hot weather, but some groups are more vulnerable than others. So look out for the following. Anyone who appears to be struggling in the temperatures, no matter their age or personal circumstances. Those who may find it hard to keep cool, for example babies and very young children. Older people, especially if they're over 75. Those who live on their own. People who have a serious or long-term illness. And people who spend a lot of time outside or in hot places. Those who live in top floor flats, the homeless, or those whose jobs are outside. Now, if you need medical help at the current time, please don't turn up unannounced at the hospital or minor injuries unit because they're likely to be really busy over this weekend. Please either call at 111 or visit 111 online in the first instance to get advice and be signposted to the correct services. That'll save you wasting a lot of time sitting around in the emergency department on minor injuries. Give 111 a call or visit 111 online and get advice in the first place. Now, it's been a decade from when Weymouth hosted the Olympics and Paralympic sailing events, and Weymouth Town Council is hosting a series of free events on the beach to recapture the Olympic spirit and encourage more people to get active. Get Active on Weymouth Beach is a free event suitable for all ages and abilities and will run from 10 AM to 3 PM on Sunday the 24th of July. That's next Sunday. Try have-a-go sessions in football skills, rugby, tots and volleyball. In addition, there will be fun relay races, hula hooping and throwing games. There will also be face painting for children. Try beginners led exercise class in Zumba, dance aerobics, Latin solo, seated stretch along exercise, beach boot camp and yoga. These sessions will be suitable for all to take part in and will last approximately 20 minutes. As part of the day, there will also be an opportunity to learn more about Weymouth Town Council projects, such as work to tackle climate change, the neighbourhood plan, and the Friends of Tumbledown will give talks about the unique former farm and the work of volunteers. You can find out about free health walks that are regularly take place weekly in Weymouth, and Live Well Dorset will also be on hand to provide well-being tips and signpost you to local providers. The event will round off with the annual Beach Sports Festival, which is on now until Sunday the 24th of July on Weymouth Beach. Now, the latest schedule of everything that's on can be found on the Weymouth Town Council website, at www.weymouthtown-council.gov.uk/beach-sports-festival, and we will post up on our Facebook page a list of all those activities going on this week for you later this evening, so that you can refer to it there if you can't find it on the council's website. Now, changes to the outside seating at the Lobster Pot Cafe at Portland Bill have been put on hold. Concerns have been raised over the effect on the natural environment by adding paving and glass screens to an outside seating area. Natural England and the Dorset Wildlife Trust and Portland Town Council have all asked for further information about any possible effects in their submissions to the Planning Department as in respect of the planning approval. Natural England said in their statement to Dorset Council that unless changed, the proposal could have potential significant effects on the Isle of Portland's site of special scientific interest. Portland Town Council have been asked for a decision to be deferred for a full health and safety assessment of the site and to hear further from Natural England. In the planning application to Dorset Council, the Lobster Pot say the area would have glazed screening to protect guests from the weather. It also said the changes would reduce the chance of trips and falls for guests and staff by replacing an uneven grassed area with paving. The application also included low-level roping supported by stakes to the south of the building. In a planning agent's letter on behalf of the owner, it says that the site is not within a conservation area or an area of outstanding natural beauty and has no nearby neighbours. Now, as the temperatures are set to increase over the weekend, Dorset Council is appealing to people visiting its beaches to take extra precautions due to an increased risk of cliff falls and rock falls. In extreme temperatures, the risk of rock falls along Dorset's World Heritage coastline is even greater than usual. Heat causes rocks to expand, and particularly during temperature fluctuations, any pre-existing cracks can widen and new cracks can also form. This makes cliffs potentially more unstable and rockfall more likely to happen. Dorset and East Devon's Jurassic Coast is famous for its dramatic coastline, which is constantly eroding and moving. As the rocks crumble and fall, they can expose fossils, which gives us a fascinating look back in time and is why the coastline is recognised as a World Heritage Site. However, the erosion process can be devastating if people are sat underneath them when it happens. Now, Councillor Ray Bryan, portfolio holder for Highways, Travel and Environment, said, "We would encourage anyone thinking of visiting the Dorset coast during this heatwave to stay away from the base of cliffs. And if you are walking along the coast path, keep well away from the edges. Never ignore a warning sign, they are there for your safety. It is easy to enjoy the spectacular and fascinating Jurassic Coast without putting yourself or others at risk." Now, Dorset's coastline has a number of areas where there's an increased potential for rockfall. And these areas are the cliffs around Seatown, Ype, Burton Bradstock, Westcliff, Eastcliff, Mute Bay, Lulworth and Swanage. So that's those areas. I'll read those again. These are the areas of high risk of rockfall. It's the cliffs around Seatown, Ype, Burton Bradstock, Westcliff, Eastcliff, Mute Bay, Lulworth and Swanage. Now, could you help the Friends of Dorchester Hospital? Like many organisations, the Friends of Dorchester Hospital have been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. This has affected the number of volunteers, which is drastically reduced, meaning services and activities have had to be curtailed. Therefore, after a great deal of consideration, the trustees have made the difficult decision and decided to close the Friends shop on the 30th of September 2022. Now, those of you that have visited the hospital, I'm sure you've paid a visit to the Friends shop, and if you're visiting people in hospital, it's always useful to get bits there. And if you're in hospital and a bit mobile, it's somewhere you can go to buy little bits and pieces, so it will be very much missed. However, this is not the end of the Friends. The trustees have agreed to stay on, and their manager, Sharon Merritt, after working for the Friends for 22 years, will also become a trustee. We would like to say, this is what the Friends are saying, we would like to say, as the Friends working, like to see it as the Friends working in a different way and evolving. They already have some people doing fundraising on their behalf, including skydiving. They have recently set up a Just Giving page and hope that they can get more people involved in fundraising on their behalf. It is more crucial than ever that they get more support from the local community so they can continue to support the hospital. Now, the Friends have been around a long time. They were established back in 1956 with an aim to give comfort to patients, relatives and friends of Dorset County Hospital. Over the years, they've donated over £1 million to the hospital. The Friends will continue to work closely with the hospital and have recently pledged to raise £70,000 for equipment for the critical care unit. And they want to continue to raise vital funds so they can still make a difference at the hospital. Now, if you want to find out more about the Friends of Dorset County Hospital and you'd like to get involved, they do have their own website. It is at www.friendsofdorsetcountyhospital.co.uk. That's www.friendsofdorsetcountyhospital.co.uk. Of course, if you go onto Google and search for Friends Dorset County Hospital, you will also find it nice and easy. And if you could help the Friends, either by donating, you'll find the link to their Just Giving page, or if you'd like to volunteer and help with some of their fundraising or activities at the hospital, I'm sure they would be very, very pleased to hear from you. Now, businesses in Weymouth Town Centre are being encouraged to join a pilot scheme offering young women and girls a safe space if they are feeling unsafe or threatened outside of the family home. The Pineapple Project, led by Dorset Council with Dorset Police, Weymouth College and the Targeted Sexual Health Service, have been working with young women who have expressed a need for places of safety in their community. More businesses are needed to offer their support. These might be shops, entertainment venues or beauty establishments that can provide a safe haven for young women and girls in the town for a few minutes, an hour or a little longer if necessary. Community guardians in local businesses who sign up to help will receive full training and ongoing support. Young women will be able to identify the community guardians by looking out for the discreet Pineapple Project logo. This could be displayed in a shop window, or the guardian may be wearing a badge. The pilot project is focusing on young women as they are statistically more likely to have their security affected, for example by being approached, exploited or sexually assaulted, either verbally or physically. However, the businesses will be provided with contacts for safeguarding issues related to everyone. So whilst they're there for young women, they will be able to refer safeguarding issues to do with anybody. Now, if you can support Weymouth girls and young women to feel safe, please get in touch with the Pineapple Project on 01305 762 400. That's 01305 762 400, or send an email to the Pineapple Project at dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. That's the Pineapple Project at dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. Now, Dorset Council's anti-social behaviour team are joining up with Dorset Police, Community Safety Patrol Officers, Dorset Fire and Rescue, Dorset Youth Outreach, We Are Weymouth and Weymouth Town Council to talk to members of the public at an event this coming Monday, the 18th of July. The agencies are running a public engagement event from 12 noon to 2 p.m. to the right of the beach office on Weymouth Esplanade as part of Antisocial Behaviour Awareness Week 2022. Now, Antisocial Behaviour Awareness Week runs from the 18th, that's Monday, through to the 22nd of July. The event will showcase agencies that have a direct influence on and dealing with antisocial behaviour in our community and will give people the chance to ask them questions. Despite more than half of people, in fact 56%, believing that more needs to be done to tackle antisocial behaviour in their community, just 1 in 50, or 2%, fully understands their rights to challenge the problem, according to a new government survey done by YouGov. The Community Trigger, also known as the Antisocial Behaviour Case Review, is one of the government's flagship antisocial behaviour policies. It gives people the right to request a multi-agency review of their case if they feel their complaints about antisocial behaviour have not been dealt with. Overall, 1/3 of people said that antisocial behaviour has got worse in their local area compared with 3 years ago. It was rising to 41% in Northern England, actually. So whilst it's 1/3 of people down here, it's up to 41% in Northern England as you go further up the country. After they witnessed or experienced antisocial behaviour, more than half of people, in fact 57%, said that they did not report it to anyone. So there are problems out there and people are just not reporting it. So of course it won't get tackled. So to tackle what is described as a worrying lack of awareness, community safety group Resolve has organised the second UK-wide Antisocial Behaviour Awareness Week, and that's that week that's running from the 18th to the 24th of July. It is calling on all councils, police forces, housing providers, the government and other bodies to use the opportunity to raise public knowledge of powers to tackle antisocial behaviour. Now, moving on to this week's request for support from Dorset Police. First of all, officers are appealing for witnesses to come forward following a burglary in Weymouth and have issued an image of a stolen bicycle, which you can see on the screen. At around 1:45 a.m. on Wednesday, July 2022, it's actually got the date missing here. I guess it's probably just July this week just gone. Access to a garage in the Littermore Road area was gained and a commercial trials bike valued at approximately £3,500 was taken. 4 men were reported to have entered the garage and were then seen running off with the bike. So that's the first issue they want help with, and there's the picture of the bike on the screen. Next, officers investigating a burglary at a home in Dorchester have issued CCTV images. Are they working? No, it doesn't look like they work. Oh, hang on. There they are. Sorry, there they are. On the wrong button. They have issued some CCTV images. Now, they're not very good, and the police do acknowledge they're not very good. And they are appealing for information. Entry was gained to the address in Balmoral Crescent at around 6:40 a.m. on Thursday the 23rd of June. The burglars conducted a search of the home, but it is not believed anything was stolen. Police Constable Michelle Day of West Dorset Police said, "We are carrying out inquiries into this burglary and have obtained CCTV images of 2 suspects," and there they are on the screen. "I appreciate that some of the images are not of the best quality and at times the suspects have their faces covered, but I'm hoping someone might recognise them, or it may jog the memory of anyone who witnessed anything suspicious in the area on that morning." And the last one this week from Dorset Police. Officers are appealing for witnesses to come forward following a collision in Weymouth involving a marked police car. At around 10:10 p.m. on Saturday the 9th of July, that's last Saturday, a road traffic collision occurred on Littermore Road at the junction with Shalbury Close, involving a bronze Honda Civic and a marked police car that was making its way to an unconnected 999 emergency nearby. The ambulance service, including the air ambulance and fire service, attended the scene. Now, if you witnessed any of these events, you have any CCTV footage, or certainly with the road traffic accident, if you've got any dash cam footage that may help police with their inquiries, they're asking you to get in touch. And as usual, the number for getting in touch with Dorset Police is 101. If you've got information that you'd like to give anonymously, you can do that through the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. Now, with the warm, light evenings being with us and the summer holidays fast approaching, barbecues are beginning to sizzle across Dorset and Wiltshire. And certainly if you go out walking in the evening, you can actually smell them. So I do agree with that. But behind the bangers and burgers, summer fun has a serious side. Dorset and Wilts Fire and Rescue Service, as part of the Fire Kills campaign, is asking everyone to take extra care when cooking al fresco, especially when lighting barbecues. By following the Fire Kills campaign's top tips, you can ensure your barbecue is a safe, enjoyable event. And here are those top tips. Never leave a lit barbecue unattended. Follow the safety instructions provided with disposable barbecues. Never use a barbecue indoors. Make sure your barbecue is well away from sheds, fences, trees, shrubs and garden waste. Keep children, pets and garden games away from the cooking area. After cooking, make sure the barbecue is cool before moving it. Use enough charcoal to cover the base of the barbecue, but not more. Empty ashes onto bare garden soil, not into dustbins or wheelie bins. If they're hot, they can melt the plastic and cause a fire, obviously. And always keep a bucket of water, sand or a garden hose nearby for emergencies. Now, I'm going to add one of mine as well, because I was watching one of these medical programs on the TV this week where a gentleman had actually tried to light a barbecue by using some high octane fuel for a model aeroplane, and that's like putting petrol or something similar on a fire, and he put a lot of it on there and he lit a match and the whole thing went up whoosh, and he burnt the whole top of his upper body. So if you're going to use things to light your barbecue, use the proper barbecue lighter fuel that you can buy that goes with barbecues, or the lighter blocks. Do not put petrol, or certainly not model aeroplane fuel on your barbecues to light them, because that's very, very dangerous. Now, for more information on staying fire safe outdoors, you can visit the Dorset and Wilts Fire and Rescue website at www.dwfire.org.uk/safety-outdoors. Now, turning to the trains, journeys will take longer and some services will be cancelled. Great Western Railways has warned customers this weekend. Great Western Railway is reminding customers to be prepared for travelling this weekend and into next week, as trains are likely to be busier, journeys will take longer, and some services will be cancelled at short notice due to the heat wave. With another extreme weather warning issued for parts of the UK, GWR is reminding customers to bring water, to cover up, bring sunscreen when travelling. Track temperatures are expected to rise over the weekend and into next week, reaching in excess of 50 degrees centigrade, which means significant speed restrictions will be put in place across all parts of the network. Engineers will be positioned at key locations to monitor the condition of the track. And just to remind you that the temperatures that they are predicting for Tuesday could be an all-time record for the UK. So, you know, this is a significant event, and, you know, metal does expand and move in the heat. So, you know, we could see major issues with tracks. Now, the weekend services will also be affected by short notice cancellations due to the hot weather as well. Temperatures are set to peak on Monday and Tuesday, with a blanket speed restriction already being put in place across the rail network, and a revised timetable which will be put into place. Now, and staying with the railways, further bad news on the railways. It's been announced that further industrial action will take place on Wednesday the 27th of July, with disruption continuing on to Thursday the 28th of July. Customers are warned to expect severe disruption on both days and change plans if possible. Now, South Western Railways expects to run a significantly reduced strike timetable, which will see significant parts of the network completely closed. And you'll remember in the last strikes a couple of weeks ago that actually there was no service down as far as Weymouth and Dorchester. They were basically doing a reduced service, I think, as far as Bournemouth, or certainly as far as Southampton. So those of us at the end of the network didn't have any service at all during the strike. So the National Rail walkout is set to take place on the Wednesday, but the knock-on effect of the strike means that late starting reduced services is likely to be in place the following day. South Western Railways is working closely with Network Rail to produce an amended timetable for the affected days. Service levels are expected to be similar to those during the last strike period in June, when a severely reduced number of trains ran on just a handful of key routes. So there we go. And finally, in our headlines tonight, the coroner for Dorset is seeking the assistance of the public to find the next of kin of a man who died in Weymouth. Anthony John Noonan, also known as Anthony John Newman, and who was 67 years old, died in Jubilee Close on Friday the 8th of July. Now, his home address was 12 Chestnut Way in Dorset, but he died in Jubilee Close in Weymouth. His death is not being treated as suspicious, and there is no police investigation needed into his death. But Coroner's Officer Sharon Emerson said, "We're not treating the death suspicious. However, so far we have not been able to locate any next of kin." So if you have the knowledge of the next of kin or any family member or relative of Anthony Jane Noonan, also known as Anthony John Newman, then please do give the Coroner's Office a ring, and their number is 01202 123 900. That's 01202 123 900, and that's the end of the headlines in tonight's programme. Now, our first piece this week is from Janet Hall, and she's looking at a special day that has occurred recently, St Swithin's Day, and she's looking at the traditions and what we know about St Swithin's Day, and it is very closely related to the weather, as if you didn't know, you're just about to find out. So here we go, over to Janet.
Yesterday, July the 15th, was St Swithin's Day. Did you notice if there was any rain yesterday? If you're a gardener, you were probably hoping for it. There is a running joke about England's obsession with the weather, and St Swithin's Day doesn't help this stereotype. The story, as you may have guessed, is related to St Swithin, who was a Bishop of Winchester in the mid-800s. The legend goes that whatever type of weather England wakes up to on July the 15th, be it rain or sunshine, the next 40 days and nights will have the same weather conditions. So yes, if it rains on July the 15th, you can expect to have your umbrella at your beck and call for the next 40 days. However, there is actually no scientific or historic evidence to suggest that the case of having the same weather for 40 days is true. St Swithin's Day pays homage to St Swithin, who was the Anglo-Saxon Bishop of Winchester. Within the same time period, he also became the patron saint of the Winchester Cathedral. Historical records don't talk much about his life before and after he became a bishop. And what's more, there aren't many records of his miracles either. One of the few instances in which a miracle performed by St Swithin is mentioned involves him repairing an egg basket of a woman who dropped it after being startled by the sudden appearance of the bishop. Even though there aren't many miracles associated with him, he is still quite a celebrated figure in Britain. So much so that around 40 churches are dedicated to him all over the country. The folklore attached to St Swithin's Day involves the bishop's supposed anger and thunderstorms. Having a love for the common people, he wanted them to have access to his shrine. Therefore he built his shrine in the churchyard. He is recorded stating that this would also allow him to enjoy the rain falling from the heavens above. St Swithin's wish was granted in 863, and he was buried in the churchyard as per his instructions. St Swithin's body was removed from its simple grave and interred in the new cathedral on the 15th of July, 971. A shrine to the saint remains in the modern Winchester Cathedral to this day. According to legend, 40 days of terrible weather followed, suggesting St Swithin was none too happy with the new arrangements. Ever since it has been said that the weather on the 15th of July supposedly determines the weather for the next 40 days, as noted in the Elizabethan verse. St Swithin's Day, if thou dost reign, for 40 days it will remain. St Swithin's Day, if thou be fair, for 40 days it will rain na mair. There is, of course, little proof to support the superstition, and the Met Office has recorded data across a number of years which disproves it. But I wonder whether you paid a special attention to the weather yesterday. We'll soon see if you were right.
Well, I have to say, I think Janet put the wrong bit of footage there on the end, because it certainly didn't rain yesterday, which means that we've probably got this hot sunshine for another 40 days. Actually, I could have done with a bit of rain yesterday, because I'm not enjoying this hot weather too much. So I'm sure I'm in a minority, and most of you are enjoying the hot weather. But I could do with it being a little bit cooler. Anyway, thank you for that, Janet. Telling us all about St Swithin. Now, in our second piece this week, we're going to hear from Lydia about a project from Dorset Wildlife Trust and the success of this project. It started about 12 months ago, and it was a project to reintroduce beavers to Dorset, and there's some good news. They've had a major success, so we'll go over and listen to what Lydia has to tell us now.
Following years of preparation for their arrival, a pair of beavers, an adult male and female, were released into an enclosed site in West Dorset on the 8th of February 2021, having been relocated from Scotland under licence from NatureScot. The Dorset Beaver Project is initially planned to run for 5 years until 2025. The latest news is that beavers have bred in Dorset for the first time in over 400 years at Dorset Wildlife Trust's enclosed beaver site in West Dorset. Trail cameras inside the enclosure have captured images of a young beaver, known as a kit, and its mother, exploring the watery woodland created by its parents since they were released in February 2021. This landmark project for Dorset is hosted by Dorset Wildlife Trust, working alongside lead partners, University of Exeter and Wessex Water, to undertake a scientific study to assess all the impacts that beavers make on the natural environment. The study will look at river flow, water quality and biodiversity. Since the beavers were introduced to site, they have built dams, creating a wetland to suit their needs, but which also provides habitat for many other species, such as frogs and newts, which depend on water. Rivers Conservation Officer Steve Oliver said, "We have been closely monitoring the pair since their release, and it has been clear that they have formed a strong bond in the time they have been on site, and this latest discovery is further evidence of this, alongside their industrious dam building activity." The trail cams have only identified one kit so far, but beavers can typically have 1 to 4 kits in a litter, and we are discreetly observing their activity to see if any others have been born. Seeing the first kit is an incredibly exciting moment for the project. Breeding is a clear indication of normal behavior and that the adult pair are healthy and happily settled in their Dorset surroundings. This local project is an enormous step forward on the journey to restore beavers to Dorset, helping us to raise awareness and understanding of what it means to have these influential mammals back in our county. Beavers have the potential to make a huge difference to our natural environment and can assist nature's recovery, as well as providing other benefits for humans. Eurasian beavers were once native to Dorset and are known as nature's ecosystem engineers due to their activities, such as dam building to create deep water in which they feel safe, having such a positive impact on the local environment. Beavers even have the potential to reduce flooding by slowing the rate of water during extreme rainfall events. Once common in the UK, the 16th century saw Eurasian beavers hunted to extinction for their meat, fur, and castoreum, a secretion from their castor glands. To find out more about the Dorset Wildlife Trust's Beaver Project, visit dorsetwildlifetrust.org.uk/beaverproject.
There we go. Thank you, Lydia. And good news there that a kit, a small beaver, has been discovered from the pair of beavers that were introduced to a secure compound in West Dorset. There we go. Good work there being done by Dorset Wildlife Trust. We often hear about them. They're very active, certainly at the Chesil Beach Centre and across in Kimmeridge, as well as throughout Dorset. And it's always nice to cover stories that they send to us. Now it's that time in the programme where we're going over to Andrew Wright for this week's film review. Here we go, over to Andrew now.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV Film Review and Preview. I'm Andrew Wright. In the past week, Thor Love and Thunder was released in cinemas. This film is the 29th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and a sequel to 2017's Thor Ragnarok. Taking place after the events of Avengers Endgame, the film follows Thor's attempts to find inner peace only to have to recruit a team comprised of Valkyrie, Korg, and his ex-girlfriend Jane Foster to stop Gore the God Butcher from eliminating all gods. Now, I went to see this movie because I'm a big Marvel fan, and I found myself a little disappointed in the film, even though I went into the film with lower expectations. I found that whilst the directing was still as top-notch as it was in the last Thor film, the script and the acting were a big disappointment considering the talent behind the film. I struggled between deciding to give this film 2.5 stars and 3 stars, but I decided to give it a very weak 3 stars out of 5. This week, Miss Marvel concluded its 6-episode run on Disney+. This mini-series is the 7th series produced by Marvel Studios that takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and is set after the events of Avengers Endgame. The series follows Kamala Khan, a 16-year-old Pakistani-American fangirl of the Avengers, particularly Captain Marvel, as she struggles to fit in until she gains her own powers that are linked to her family's history and lineage. Now, the trailers for this series made the discovery of her powers aspect of the series interesting, but the typical high school drama aspect seemed boring and overdone. As each new episode came along each week, the show felt tonally unbalanced as the superpowers aspect made the series different from other MCU projects, but the teen drama struggled to keep the show going, as well as parts of the series feeling like a depiction and reaction of over-policing. I definitely give this show a solid 3 stars out of 5. On July 25th, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore comes to home video, DVD, Blu-ray and 4K Ultra HD. This film is the third film in the Fantastic Beasts film series, a prequel to the Harry Potter series. The film sees Albus Dumbledore tasking Newt Scamander and his allies with a mission that takes them into the heart of the Dark Wizard Grindelwald's army. I highly recommend buying this. I saw it in cinemas and I gave it a 4-star review out of 5. This weekend is the limited theatrical release of Netflix's The Grey Man, ahead of its streaming release on the 22nd of July. The Grey Man is the most expensive movie ever made by Netflix and is an action thriller from the writers of 6 MCU movies and the directors the Russo brothers, who are most notable for directing Captain America The Winter Soldier, Civil War, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, as well as several episodes of the TV sitcom Community. The film stars Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans and focuses on the CIA's most skilled mercenary accidentally uncovering the agency's dark secrets and becoming a hunted target around the world, being followed by a psychopathic former colleague and international assassins. This film is expected to be a smash hit and to become a multi-film franchise. My movie pick this week is an unorthodox one, as it is a foreign film that I watched this week and I really enjoyed it. The movie this week is Sword Art Online Progressive Aria of a Starless Night, a Japanese anime film based on a series of books. The film takes place in an alternate 2022 where 10,000 people get trapped in a fully immersive virtual reality game where dying in the game means dying in real life. The books have previously been adapted as a multi-season broadcast series, but this movie is an alternate adaptation focusing on the perspective of the main female character Asuna and her experiences early in the game as she tries to adapt to her new reality. Because I'm a very big fan of the franchise, I gave the film 5 stars out of 5 due to the strength of the animation, writing and voice acting. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will talk about the new Jordan Peele movie, Nope. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for the film review this week. Now, Andrew mentioned the Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Now, we did see the trailer of this several months ago when it was first released. Now there's an updated trailer that Warner Brothers have put out this week, and I thought, as Andrew mentioned it in his piece, I'll share with you the trailer now, because I know lots of people are interested in the sort of Harry Potter series, and this is, as we know, the prequel. So here we go. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore.
Memory is everything. Without it, we are blind. Without it, we leave the fate of our world to chance.
I'm sorry to disturb you, Albus, but I've just received troubling news.
Tell me, what is it?
It's Grindelwald.
Our time is closed, my brothers and sisters.
Our war with the Muggles begins today!
The world as we know it is coming undone. If we're to defeat him, you'll have to trust me.
Mr. Kowalski, we need you.
I said I want an out and I want out.
You do know I'm a witch, right?
Dumbledore asked that I give you something, Jacob.
This is the team that's going to take down the most dangerous wizard in the century. Who wouldn't like our chances?
No one can know everything, not even you.
What you're doing is madness.
With or without you, I'll burn down their world.
Dangerous times favor dangerous men.
If by tea time,
All of us are still alive. We should consider our efforts a success.
Mr. Kowalski.
my pleasure.
Do you really intend to turn your back on your own kind? It was you who said we could reshape the world.
Even if we make mistakes, we can try to make things right. We're going to need some help.
There's nothing you can do to stop me.
Things are not quite what they appear.
I trust you're enjoying your wand, Mr. Kowalski.
Can I keep this?
There we go. That's Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, 8 on DVD on the 25th of July. Looks a good movie there if you are interested in the Harry Potter sort of themed movies. Right, it's now that time in the programme where we're going to have the weather forecast. Now, we all know what we're going to be told in the weather forecast, but we still need to listen to it. We still need to understand what's ahead in the next few days. But I'm sure you're not going to be surprised what Alex Deakin from the Met Office is just about to tell us. So we're over to Alex at the Met Office now.
Hello, welcome to your national weather forecast. We are expecting extreme heat across the UK through the early part of next week. We have issued a red weather warning. This heat is unprecedented, potentially causing widespread health and infrastructure issues. It's all to do with high pressure that's moving in through the weekend, but then kind of edging away into the early part of next week. And as it does so, it allows the heat to be drawn up from the south. How high are those temperatures going to get? Well, easily into the mid to high 30s, and possibly across parts of eastern England, we might get up to 40 degrees Celsius. That would be a record for the UK. But the heat will be extending further north as well. So we have warnings in place. That red warning I mentioned across a good part of England, certainly including many of the major populated areas, but also the amber warning that was been issued a few days ago. And we now have an extension into parts of Wales and southern Scotland. In these areas, temperatures are going to be extreme. as I said, potentially causing disruption, power issues, along with those health concerns. There's a lot of advice on the Met Office website and the NHS website about how to try and stay cool during these very hot times. We'll see a bit more of that rain spilling into Scotland and Northern Ireland on Saturday evening, but for most of England and Wales, a balmy summer's evening to come. Overnight, that rain will maybe push away from Northern Ireland, but we'll keep some outbreaks going across parts of Scotland. Again, for England and Wales, it's dry, but it is getting warmer, and it's not just those daytime temperatures we're concerned about. The nighttime temperatures will be ticking up over the coming nights also, and again, that creates health problems because the body just doesn't have that time to recover. Sunday starts dull and damp across a good part of Scotland, but the rain soon pulls away, brightening up through the central belt and across the south. Sunny spells for Northern Ireland, plenty more sunshine, strong sunshine for England and Wales. UV levels will be high this weekend and temperatures will be getting higher Sunday. We're back up over 30 degrees Celsius. Northern Ireland, southern Scotland back into the mid-20s and continuing to rise as we go through the early part of next week. That's when we're concerned about the extreme heat. Temperatures we've never seen before across the UK, with 40 Celsius possible, particularly on Tuesday. Please keep up to date with forecasts and the latest advice from the Met Office and from the NHS and the government in general. As I said, these are unprecedented times with these temperatures, so it could have potentially very serious issues. The best way to keep up to date with all the latest is to make sure you're following the Met Office across social media.
Thank you very much, Alex, there for the weather for the next few days, which is going to get very, very hot. So remember that advice we had earlier about taking water on board and staying out the sun, what have you. Right, the local weather widget is coming up, and it never looks quite as hot on our local weather prediction as we see in the national forecast, but you can see here it's definitely predicting 25 degrees. And possibility of rain and some storms late on Tuesday or on Wednesday as the heat hits a high, and I guess probably some thunderstorms would not surprise me at all at that time. Okay, moving on to our what's on, and firstly looking at Weymouth Pavilion. Tomorrow, the Magic of the Beatles, that's the 17th of July. 22nd of July, the Magic of Dean. 22nd of July, also Let's Dance, a 30th anniversary showcase. 29th of July, The Zoots, Sounds of the 70s. 30th of July, Big Girls Don't Cry. 31st of July, Take That, Greatest Hits by Retell That. 3rd of August, Spice Forever, a Spice Girls tribute. 4th of August, Rabbit Rabbit, a Chaz and Dave tribute act. And the 7th of August, the Bon Jovi Experience. Now, if you're interested in any of those or any future shows at the Pavilion, the Weymouth Pavilion website is at weymouthpavilion.com, and the telephone number of the box office is 01305 783 225. Now, the Nose Fort, 23rd of July, the Victorian weekend. The 9th of August at 6:45 is Munch Mission. Brave, bold drama, the perfect activity for you and your children this summer holiday. Come and enjoy this astonishing interactive theatre in the spectacular walls of the Nothe Fort Parade Ground. That looks very interesting there, a interactive theatre experience for the whole family. On the 15th of August, they've got the Jazz Rock and Blues session with the Robbie McIntosh Band and special guest Mickey B and the Night Owls. Now, also, you'll remember last week I did mention the Rascally Diner, and we did show the trailer of that. So don't forget that. That's an outdoor theatre event sponsored and funded and supported by Arts Reach. And that is on Thursday the 28th of July at 2:30 p.m. at Alderholt Village Hall at Fordingbridge, and Friday the 29th of July at Broadmain First School at 11:30 a.m. So they are outside events, so they do rely on good weather. I think they still go ahead if it's wet. They just say bring your brollies. It's fun for all the family, and it's got very good reviews. It's been travelling the country, and you can see a trailer on the Arts Reach website. and you can also get your tickets via the Arts Reach website. So that's the Rascally Diner on the 28th and 29th of July, and the Arts Reach website is www.artsreach.co.uk. So that's the end of the what's on. Other than to say, in terms of church services this week, the regular services at All Saints Church tomorrow at 8 o'clock, communion, 9:30 communion, that will also be live streamed, and 11 o'clock at St Edmund's Church. Tonight, don't forget our quiz, 7:30, our regular Saturday evening quiz. The feed will go live at 7:15. That's a quiz for all the family. It's free of charge, and anybody's free to join in with that, and you will be most welcome to join us. Now, just looking at traffic and travel, I did look at all the roads and all the rail, and it's all flowing okay at the moment. No massive hold-ups on the roads according to the latest information from the AA, and the departures and arrivals at Weymouth rail station all seem to be on time. Roadworks are planned for the coming 7 days at Tennyson Road, Overbury Close, St George's Avenue, Moorside Close, Radipole Park Drive, Dorset Road, Studland Way, Southdown Avenue, Kingsbere Road, Mercery Road and Grove Point. So those are the ones that we know about that have been pre-notified. Now on the rail, we did say about the extreme heat affecting rail services, and Network Rail has urged rail customers across the country to only travel on Monday and Tuesday if absolutely necessary. They are expecting major disruption due to the heat. They are running trains slow anyway, but it's possible that it will affect rails and there will be emergency engineering work. Now over this weekend there are bus replacement services between Basingstoke and Reading, and also between Winchester and Southampton Central in the evenings and in the early mornings. And there's an amended late night service to and from Bristol Temple Meads this week from Monday the 18th through to Thursday the 21st of July. So as ever with the trains, do check before you travel, and make sure that things are running at the times you expect them to be running, or indeed that they are running at all. Now that brings us to the end of this Saturday's programme. Of course, if you have any news stories for us, any events that are coming up, anything about the movies or anything for Janet or Andrew, then do drop us a line at news@Wyke Regis TV, news@Wyke Regis TV, and I'll make sure it gets to Janet or Andrew, and we would love to hear from you. Failing that, stay calm, stay cool, only travel if you have to this week. Make sure you drink plenty of water, and keep those houses cool, and hopefully we'll get through this week and it won't be quite as hot as they're promising, and we will be back with you next Saturday. So have a good week, have a good weekend, and I look forward to being back with you next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Good night.